Minister of the UK. We want to talk about the indoctrination of the education system. Take it away, Charlie.
Okay, right. In 1942, Winston Churchill gave William Beveridge a project to do, and it was about slaying the five giants. And that was education, ill health, homelessness, national insurance, and welfare. Right. So they slayed the five giants, and then they created something called the welfare state, where the National Health Service and the education system all came into it, and they were promising us, oh, bless you. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Promising us cradle to grave care, which was cradle to grave control and manipulation.
And they really mean it because of the medical system, too. They literally get you on a wheel and they own you from birth till you die.
Exactly. And so that's what they do. They suicide people in the most friendly way.
Yes, they do.
Trust in it.
Yep.
Now, we know what cancer is. We know cancer is necessary, but we know that is we know that that's something that kills people off, depopulates, which is the plan. So what I'm trying to do is educate people, bring them up to speed on what really is going on in this world, as opposed to what they believe.
Yeah, what the controlled media. Yeah, there's a controlled media. I was blacklisted because I wanted to talk about possession and graphene and nanites, and Stu Peters and Dr. Love and all them. They're under a man named, I won't give his name, but let's just say Warren. And they told me, if you talk about that, we're taking your channel. I was going to be big, Charlie. I was going to be right there, these alternative media personalities, and I wouldn't compromise. I wouldn't compromise.
I wouldn't expect you to. We, people like us, are really going to be the future of, let's say, the world information system. Because what we do, we do it from an empirical system where, it's our experiences that educate us. You don't put your hand in a fire, do you?
No.
That's right. You don't need to find out if it's hot. We just know that. But what they're doing now is the children are, the safety and security and playgrounds with rubber matting and all that. How are children ever going to learn the the consequences of their mistakes? I call it action, cause and effect.
Yes.
What I want to try and explain to people, there's three things in life that you could learn very early on. First thing is the two sovereign masters of man. One, the pursuit of pleasure, the other, avoidance of pain. Now, if you understand about cause and effect, then you'll understand that when you're pursuing pleasure, you are actually setting yourself up for pain.
Yep.
Yes, mate. And then the third thing is the golden rule. Do unto others as you want done to yourself. Now, is that so difficult to teach young children? So that they not only learn the academia, which is not worth it anyway, but they also learn how to live within a human race where, we don't have borders, or let's say we can have borders if we want, but we put humans before culture, colour, religion, and, difference. Once we've done that, we can all take sides and be a legion or, be jingoistic and show allegiance to a particular cause, country, or whatever. But we've got to remember that, we're human beings and every one of us has feelings. We're all children of God. Yes. And we have to respect each other. Because this world's not going to go any further. We're going to go for reset. And if you look at Australia, it's a perfect example. Then you look at, the pyramids and Puma Punpa, and, all of these pyramids, ley lines, the energy, the ether. Why are we talking about coal-fired? Why are we talking about petrol? Why are we talking about anything when we know water will drive a car? Well, and so they're just trying to get us now in electric microwave coffins so they can kill us.
That's true.
That's the best thing.
That's true.
Well, if you know anything about Maui was the most advanced nation in the world, or, country in the world, on the 5G, and they were celebrating it. So when the Blue Roofs didn't get burnt in Maui, the Freemasons' places and the homes of like Oprah Winfrey, everything else was burned up, wasn't it? But the good thing about it was the sheriff of Texas, who was invited there because of his mean streak and, how he could disappear people and murder people without any conscience, they blocked all the roads. People couldn't get anywhere because they switched the grid off where the cars were, and they switched cars off, electric cars. And it's all about control.
Yep.
And
It is all
really
about control. Absolutely. Well, actually, it was depopulation to bring in their train and their smart cities, and it's just weaponry against the citizens. Your governments are just taking resources and just creating a whole new world without your consent. And you're paying for
exactly.
it. You're paying for it.
And the thing is, you see, we've gone into this belief system, and I do psychology, and belief systems are created by patterns of behavior. Humans are always looking for patterns. So if we look at the viruses that do not spread, and bird flu, where birds don't sneeze and don't get flu, we can start trying to educate people. But of course, they think that they already know. And if one person got the flu and they've got it, they think it would spread from them. We know from 1902 that viruses don't spread. And we need to re-educate because people believe this stuff. In fact, I actually interviewed a doctor about 2 years ago who's going for his fifth shot.
Oh, the doctors are the most indoctrinated people I deal with, Charlie.
Exactly.
They're told by the Rothschild education system, and they're deluded in grandeur, and they keep you on a allopathic wheel of sickness.
Exactly. And this is the thing, we've got to start to recognise why people do what they do, why they have their cause, and who actually finances that. I mean, if you look on CNN and Fox and all that, always sponsored by Pfizer.
Pfizer.
60% of their income, then, they can't afford to step out of line. And this is where everybody's trapped by the devil's money. I was thinking back to 1913, the Federal Reserve, the private bank that wouldn't have gone ahead without the sinking of the Titanic and the bloody Guggenheim, Strauss and Astor families on it. But you've got to look at the big picture, It's not all about one particular area of study or belief. It's about the whole. And people are too busy looking at the parts to look at the whole. If we don't look at the whole of the parts, then we're just going to be banging our heads against each other. Because people want to believe, say, that COVID was real when we know it wasn't. Gain of function from 1964. Fauci guilty as hell. The AIDS epidemic, same thing. By the way, AIDS is exactly what you get after
they created AIDS. Mark Sharp and Dome admitted it from the monkeypox. They took the pox and they and the polio too, and they retro-engineered a biological weapon, class warfare, cultural warfare to wipe out the gay people.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? Hey, please listen to this then. In Hitler in 1930s and 40s, they killed all the gays, didn't they?
They did.
They
did wear a gold star, Charlie.
Yeah. Hey, but guess what, though? Do you know what they're doing now? They've got them out there celebrating so they'll know where they are when they want them dead, because they're not fucking going to be hiding, are they? They're so proud to be gay and loud. And they're a bunch of idiots. They're lambs to the slaughter. Cattle would have a better idea of going to the abattoir than that lot have. So, in all fairness, the human race, the gene pool, needs emptying of this lot. You know what I mean? So I think those that went and got the jab and those that believe in the system surface requirements in the human gene pool anyway, as are all of these leaders. And let's just not forget the eugenics thing. And we spoke about it before, Obama and Liz, what's her name?
Well, the Brain Initiative, Obama in 2008 started the Brain Initiative, which is hooking us to the Neuralink, which Musk is just a puppet. What they're trying to do is hook you to well, they already have. Your DOD has got you on a Homeland Security, and everybody in this world is a nodule on Homeland Security, and they use frequencies, they can track you, use thermals, use drones, use your phone, use your computer, use your smart devices. We're in a world that y'all can't even see, and you're being radiated.
It's been incremental, you see. What it is the education system has never been about education. It's been about indoctrination, right? But what's happening is these people who believe in this system don't understand how to get out of it, and they're really fully, involved in it because they're too scared to look, too scared to stand out. And I thank you for what you've said about me. I appreciate it. But I've got a real strong sense of right and wrong. And I'm not going to bend, because it will kill my character. It'll kill me spiritually if I do. I would rather die. I mean, I don't choose to die like having my fingers cut off one by one or some real cruel way. Hello, mate. But if that is the way, that's the way, because I was contracted to die at birth. And I'm going to do what I do for my principles. It's not the people as much as it is. It's more about me and how I feel by failing to express how I feel and my. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Charlie. The first time I saw you.
Hey, come and say hello to my friend on American TV. This is Eden's Living. This is a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Hey. Hey.
Hey.
You all right?
Hey, hello.
Everything cool?
Welcome.
Living it large in Buckingham.
Yeah, she's in Alabama.
So,
bless you. Hey, thanks very much. Thank you.
Hey, Charlie, the first time I heard you speak, first time I heard you speak, I recognized the resonance of your DNA, your bloodline. I recognized a fellow patriot warrior. We do not bow. We are the disruptors. No. Our bloodline DNA frequency literally are placed strategically through the world to disrupt this beast system. And it's the 144, has the residence of the DNA of God Almighty, Yeshua, and we will not let this satanic Luciferian take over this world.
This is what's very important. We've seen the Wizard of Oz, and people don't really identify with what that is. That's satanic, the Hollywood thing. But 1939 that was, right? But I'm going to say, when Toto unveils the non-problem, people will realise that all it is a pyramid, and they've got despots, demagogues, part of our people, our families, our friends, the police, the army, the military, and they're idiots because they see themselves one step above the layer below. They don't seem to realise that the tide is rising, and when the bottom foundations go, next floor, until they've got their paedophile world of satanic abuse and all of the horrible things that they're about. But I don't believe that God's going to let this happen. He's put us on, he's put me and you on this planet at this particular time because we're fighting it. And and over the last few years, we've had it terrible. But there's so many people now that take us seriously and have some respect for us. And it's building.
I've actually had people apologize. I'm the whistleblower. I'm Botech. Yeah, I'm Botech. I've been on my own, taking on police department, sheriffs, ABI, Alabama Bureau, KGB, hitman. It's been more than I can handle. Swatted, arrested, medically kidnapped, DHR at my door 4 times. The police department doing welfare checks on me. They came at me full force, Charlie.
Well, while you're talking about that, would you be able to Google Kieran and put that up on here, knowing?
Yes, Kieran also, his son got arrested for proving that the hospitals were empty.
Yes, and 40 to 60 nurses and doctors in the restaurant doing absolutely nothing while there was people who were in accidents and emergency. Or no, they couldn't come to the hospital because there was people dying, falling out the doors. There was nobody there. This is how cruel and how evil our National Homicide Service is. And now we've got the World Homicide Organization wanting to take charge of the next pandemic. Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, they are not taking charge of nothing. They are disgusting. And the more people that we get to know now, the better it gets, But the power of people, power to the people, is starting to take hold now. And we've just seen this. I cannot believe Trump is with Starmer. Now, Starmer is one of the most imbecilic people I've ever met. I wonder what his account is now. He had 4 million before he got to be PM, which he was already promised in 2022 by that horrible Shrill Gates, the great farmer, and the computer maker, but no medical. And by the way, about the 490,000 disabled children in India that he decides to jab up and look after. Never put any food in their bellies, but went there to be good to them, to give them jabs. I mean, once this mainstream media is gone, we'll be able to communicate with the rest of the world, and we'll all see why we have done what we have done, or why we have been drawn into it, because we believe we're on our own. Susan Pearce was on her own, Charley Stevenson on her own, but you know what? We didn't let that affect us. When we had people, I got death threats, murder. My son was the first one, certainly in the UK, could have been in the world, put in prison.
They threw his son off a roof. They threw Kieran off of a hospital roof.
Oh, yes, as well, yeah. Well, he threw himself off in the end, but they weren't going to have anybody go and talk him down. You know, one of the negotiators kept everybody away. And very fortunately, Kieran is an ex-parachuter. Kieran is a very, very strong man. And he actually come off that roof. He did get a compound fracture of the forearm. But I would have thought he'd have broken his legs and everything, you know what I mean? Because that was like 22 feet, 24 feet.
Oh, my God, Charlie.
And he's come down. But anyway, what they did then is twisted him up. And he had these people in fake uniform, right? And I think they were Brigade 77, MI5 had something to do with it before. But because he lives near Waddesdon Manor, the home of the Rothschilds in Buckinghamshire. And he interrupted one of their little satanic parties just before Christmas at a place called Hartwell House on the Eathrope Road. The Eathrope, Eythrope, there's a road going from Eathrope near Hadnam, bypassing Aylesbury, right up towards the manor. In fact, you know what, Susan? I forgot about this. This is really crazy. I got married in a church at Upper Winchenden, which is at the back of Waddesdon Manor.
Wow.
And, I mean, my God, I mean, how coincidental. I didn't know anything about all this then. So I was married at Waddesdon Manor, where the home of the Rothschilds, because her father they lived in 4 council houses, and her father was one of the head gardeners with the Rothschilds, and, you know, anybody that worked on their estate had
hey,
homes
Charlie,
on the estate.
I'm going to step on you and interrupt you. You please tell my audience what bloodline you're from. I'm from the Van Dyne Pierce. What bloodline are you from?
Right now, I believe I am a Hamilton, right? Now, Lady Emma Hamilton was going out with Nelson, Nelson, but she also had an affair with the Mad King George III. Right now, we believed it was an illegitimate child from that meeting. I believe that's where I'm from. And I know this because my name is Hamilton, but I'm also known as Rigney Wright. Now, my family, I haven't done my family tree because, well, you know, my concentration didn't get that far. But we go back to where they owned it, when jails were private. The one in Northern Ireland called Mountjoy Prison was owned by my family. And my great-great-great, about 7 grandfathers removed, was the Squire of County Tyrone. So, you know, I mean, obviously, I come from some good stock. But unfortunately, what's happened is, you know, there's been a lot of bloodlines coming between that over the years. The rest of my family are really not very bright at all. But I think I've been gifted by somebody divine, somebody, you know, a lot more powerful than Bill Gates.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Well, I'm a lot more powerful than Bill Gates.
Yes, we are much more powerful.
Very much forward to doing the Oliver Cromwell, because I am Oliver Cromwell number 2. And if we know what happened in 1649 with Charles I, we've got Charles III now, but Oliver Cromwell number 2 wants to do with Charles III what Oliver Cromwell number 1 did with Charles I. We also, what people don't know, we had, I think it was William of Orange, who came over and married James I.
Is William of Orange. I'm William Netherland King. William is my great-great-grandfather.
Yes, that's right. But I wanted to tell you something about this, because that was the House of York, wasn't it?
Yes, I am the House of York. I'm the divine, I'm actually Lady Eden Lux of York. I'm about to get my name changed back.
You have to be something to be the... This lady was in bed 25 years after the car accident in Florida in 1995, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And put on so much weight. And you want to look how athletic this lady is. You have been certainly gifted, and you're not human. You are certainly not human. And your mind is certainly to go.
I've been told that before, my dear.
Do you know what? Like you and I... never grow old, you know what I mean? Physically, I'm looking older, but I've still got the body of a 30-year-old.
Yeah,
I can still get back and And I've got all of my proteins and my creatine and everything to get back training. I've just got to get that day when I go there, and that's it then.
I just got to put about 3 stones on you. That's all. I just need to put about 3 stones, dear.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I will. But I mean, if you see the photograph, did you see the one with the Lambretta top on?
Yes, I did.
I was out of a wheelchair after 2 years because I broke up both my legs and my chest, and I hurt myself really badly. And I lost 3 inches off my femur. I had to have the knee replaced, and that rebuilt, and they were going to take the leg off at one point. But anyway, never going to walk again, or I was going to walk. And look at me, like I can dance.
I can dance if I want to. I can. What is it? I can dance if I want to. I can leave the world behind. Da 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 da.
You feel the same.
If you really want to dance.
Yeah. Well, let's do another one in a minute. I'll plug this in.
All right, yeah, hang on before you get to cussing. Let me turn you off. Let's don't cuss online.
Do your business with this.